Here's what works in a virtual workshop. If you're just wondering, there are 3 main things, and I'm going to discuss them really briefly, okay? The first thing that really works in a virtual workshop is for you to deliver that workshop while standing. Yeah, standing. Not sitting down, but standing. What? I gotta stand up? Yes, stand up. You will be surprised at how you deliver content by standing up versus sitting. In fact, I would encourage you to do an experiment. Record yourself doing a workshop of some sort, even if it's a webinar, whatever it is, doing it standing up versus standing. Why? Why should you stand up? Energy. Let's talk about energy. We're already complaining about virtual anything is being so freaking boring. It's because the energy is not there. The physical, tangible touchness of someone sitting right next to you or standing right next to you isn't there. So if you know that doesn't exist anymore because you're in a virtual experience, what can you do to increase that energy? Stand up. Stand up not only for yourself, making sure that you deliver that content amazingly, but stand up for the audience. The audience will notice. The audience will love your energy as a result of standing up. Your audience will actually pay attention. Your audience will actually engage with you. Standing up is the number one thing that works if you're doing a virtual workshop. Me personally, I stand up for all my virtual workshops. And I'm talking about, I've done multi-day workshops where they're 3 hours plus long, up to 6 to 8 hours. Granted, I do take breaks and I will sit down. I have a standing desk, thankfully, for that. For those who don't have a standing desk, pile things up, take it down. Back in the day, especially when I started with video, I would use an ironing board, y'all, and put up books on it. And that would be my tripod or my standing desk, okay? So standing is the number one thing of what works in virtual workshops. Number 2, you guys ready? Because I already know you guys hate hearing that you gotta stand, right? The next one is not using slides. What works in a virtual workshop is not using slides. Let me explain. You can actually do a virtual workshop where you're not using any slides whatsoever. And that's a whole another live stream or possible topic. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. But when I say not using slides, I mean where slides is all that you're going off of. Slides where that's all you see, and you, as a facilitator or host, you just reading from the notes that you have in PowerPoint or in Keynote or in Google Slides. What works is keeping it to a minimum. If you need to use slides, fine, use them, but you gotta be strategic in how you use them. I'm not gonna share that particular strategy today, but I want you to think about, and I'm gonna give you a caveat for this. Think about the old school way of how you were taught growing up in school. Think about all the different ways. Think about that nice and dusty and chalky chalkboard. Think about the projector system. Think about the why can I think about it with the clear slides and you can wash it off, and think about the whiteboards. Think about the flip charts. Think about the smart board. Like the smart board came out when I was a sophomore in high school. I remember my physics class. Think about all those things. Think about how you can incorporate those into your virtual workshop. Number 2 main strategy that works with a virtual workshop, not using slides. The third one, which you would think is common sense, but it's not, I guess, turning on your camera. Turning on your camera. That's it. Actually show your face. Don't hide behind the slides. The third thing that works for virtual workshops is turning on the camera. You know what that does? You're speaking to the audience. Now, a lot of people are going to say, oh, but I'm speaking to the audience. Like, on webinars, we just have the slides and all that. And, They're good. No, they're not. Think about it. Because in today's world, we're so inundated with all these different types of virtual workshops, webinars, summits, with all those things. What simply is going to stand out is the fact that you, as the facilitator, host, teacher, guest, interviewer, interviewee, is this. You actually taking the time to put yourself on camera, show your beautiful faces, smile, have your personality come out, and most importantly, looking your audience directly in the eye by looking at that camera lens. That's what you're doing. A lot of you guys are getting freaked out about, oh, I gotta look at the camera, I gotta look at the lens. You're talking to your audience. Looking into the lens is talking to the person who's watching you. You looking over here to look at notes, you looking over there to look at the comments. You're not talking to the person who's talking to you. Imagine the connection and that energy that we talked about. Imagine having more of a connection. You'll be surprised. People will feel even more connected to you and trust you more, just like if you're in person. Are you going to trust someone who's looking all over the place when you ask them questions or when you're asking them to deliver something, rather someone who's looking you dead in your eye? People are going to trust you more when you look them dead in the eye. And the closer you can get and fill up that space that you're watching me in right now. 3 things that work in virtual workshops that will set you apart immediately. Standing up, not using slides, turning on the camera, and actually speaking to your audience that way. Not having visuals and videos and all these other assets and aesthetics speak to them. You actually speak to them.